Hey everyone, so I just wanted to talk a little bit about internal filters, which might just be my new favorite type of filter here. So I used to use hang-on backs, which would be something like this, where it hangs on the back. Part of it's sticking in, but most of it is on the back end. Whereas an internal filter is, well, internal. So it sits in the inside of a tank. So this one is the Fluval U4. This one is completely submerged in the water. This one is all the way internal. Then there are other ones, such as this Tetra one here. Now this one usually is not submerged all the way in the water like how I have it, but it seems to be doing just fine that way. Usually it has a clip on the top and it clips onto the back of the tank, and then it has a couple of suction cups to where it's kind of sticking a little bit out of the water, but for the most part it is inside of the water. You can see that I added in some fluval biological media. But for this guy, this part was too thick for its clip, so I just stuck it all the way in there, and it seems to be working just fine. One more example I have is the Aqueon Quiet Flow internal filter. So this is very similar to the Tetra one. Again, I've added a couple more medias in there. But again, it just kind of sits in the tank for the most part, and then it has a couple of clips and a suction cup that stick it to the tank, inside the tank, but it is still hanging out a little bit. So you see here, it's not all the way in the water, just hanging out of the water a little bit, and it kind of does like a little bit of a waterfall effect. So this type is pretty similar to a hang-on back. It's just instead of most of the filter being outside the tank, most of the filter is inside the tank, except for a couple of clips. But again, it's not all the way in the water like the Fluval I showed you guys is. Now, just like hang-on back, some of them are adjustable for the flow rate. This Fluval one here is. The Tetra one is this. So the Tetra here has a little slider on it that you can slide back and forth and adjust the flow rate a little bit. Now the Aqueon over there, that one is just how it is. There is no slider or anything like that you can adjust the flow rate. So again, just like a hang-on bag or pretty much any filter, depends on what brand you get, which one you get. Some are adjustable, some of them are not. The nicest thing about these are how quiet they are. A lot of the small hang-on backs are quiet. They don't make much noise. Since I set up this 45-gallon tank here, I've noticed that the bigger hang-on back filters, for example, and excuse the mess there, the Aqua Clear 110, the Aqueon Quiet Flow 75, both of those, not so much that they're very loud or anything like that, they just make a bunch of like a waterfall noise effect, which in and of itself is not annoying. I don't find it annoying, but it is still sound. And my bed is about 4 feet, 5 feet away from my tank, which just meant the waterfall effect noise, the water noise, was waking me up in the middle of the night, and I had to keep using the bathroom. Yeah, so just putting that one out there. Yeah, but this internal filter, crazy quiet. You can hear a tiny, tiny, tiny hum from the pump that's in it, if you're very, very close to the tank. But it's nothing like the water noise that came from the other big hang-on back filters. So just one very nice thing is that they do not make as much noise as hang-on back filters can make, or other types of filters can make. It's actually really cool about this Fluval is it has 3 different ways for the water to come out. For the water to come out of it. So you have the top nozzle there. You have the bottom nozzle here. Then in the center there you can see all the little holes. So you can change it to where it comes out of the top, the bottom, or the holes in the middle there, which is just really, really cool. And again, it is also adjustable as well with that there. And of course, just like any other type of filter, these do come in different sizes. So again, this one is for Fluval, for example. This one is a U4, which does up to, I think it says, which is supposed to be up to a 65-gallon tank. They have one that does, I believe, a 40-gallon tank, one that does like a 20-gallon tank. So just like with any other type of filter, they do come in different sizes, shapes, and whatnot. Of course, different brands have different looks to them and different ways of doing them. Again, just like any other filter. You can see there my white clouds seem to love this filter. And of course, Being a different type of filter, it has a different method of doing the filtering. So you can see on the side there it has slits, and on the bottom there's also a couple more smaller slits. So water is pretty much being sucked up from the bottom and the sides, being filtered through the filter cartridges and biological media that is inside of it, and then being pushed back out in one of those three ways. Whereas the more basic internal filters, such as the Tetra or again the Aqueon, it sucks it up from the bottom and then pushes it back out through media on the top there, which is very similar to hang on back. Whereas, but with the hang on backs though, you usually will have an intake tube. Sorry about the glare. You have the intake tube that sucks in the water and then pushes it up through here, around pretty much, and then back through the filter media. Whereas on the internals, it just gets sucked up from the bottom of the filter itself. There's no intake tube to speak of. So yeah, that's just some quick information on internal filters. Again, I think this might be my new favorite type of filter. Of course, this one is big and bulky, so they do stick out. Hang on bag filter do not don't stick out. You just have the tube, and you can easily cover up the tube. These are a little bit harder to cover up, especially this giant one. The thing is probably close to a foot long or bigger. Might even be bigger than that, or a foot tall. So yeah, it'd be a bit harder to camouflage in your tank. I don't really mind the look of it. I really don't. I still don't think it looks bad. It's not like it's weird looking. Well, not that weird looking. The fish seem to be enjoying pecking at it. Yeah, but do keep that in mind though. If you don't like your filter being shown, it's pretty hard to cover these up. I'm sure you still could cover them up, just a bit harder than a tube would be. Yeah, so again, just some quick information on internal filters. I think this might be my new favorite type of filter. Crazy quiet, even with this being a pretty good sized filter. Yeah, so thank you guys very much for watching. Stay tuned for more videos and see you guys next time. Have a good one. Goodbye.